Hiya.
Hey.
It's Benny Bassett.
And me, Amanda.
And me. We are sadly on our last day in the Netherlands. Until 2 days from now. But our last day in Amsterdam, we had 2.5 days here, and I can honestly say I love it here.
Ben's ready to get a houseboat and live on the water.
I'm gonna get my Heineken over here.
Oh boy.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. No, I'm sorry. I'm still calming down with the jokes. All right. Anyway, we had mentioned the video yesterday that we got Amsterdam card, and so we had one more day on the card to do everything under the sun that we could possibly fit into a day. Amanda found I thought it was a neat little coffee shop inside the Scandinavian embassy.
It was just called Scandinavian Embassy. It wasn't inside the Scandinavian Embassy.
How disappointing. But it was really cool. It was had a really beautiful pine bar and counter and a really neat little painted white brick clean
It was
space.
very minimalist. I always get excited about a menu when you say they ask you what you want, and whether it's for their takeaway, we say for takeaway, or yeah, I just want a filter coffee and a pastry, and the guy comes up from behind the counter to walk us through every single pastry option.
And their pièce de résistance.
The Fiesta de Resistance.
Fiesta de Resistance.
That's our new duo name.
I'm so close.
And
well,
no
I'm
one
from
will
New
be able
Mexico
to
because there's a
spell
lot
it.
of Spanish in my language. Anyway, he lifted up this little
It was a towel.
and was like, "These are our cinnamon rolls." And
They
I
were
was like,
beautiful.
yes, I'll take one
Yep.
now. In fact, I even had to be like, "Do I just take it now, or do I have to wait until you give it to me?" He's like, "Please wait."
There's something about Dutch countenance that makes me laugh, because it's not a language barrier. I think that they're actually running their sarcasm through the translator, and so sometimes it comes out even drier than I think maybe even they mean it, or it's they're running it through the translator and it makes it pretty brutally honest. So I ordered a filter coffee, and not the guy helping us with the pastries, but the other guy, the barista on the espresso machine, kind of looked like he wanted to participate in the conversation. The other guy's like, "Yeah, get your filter coffee," and I asked what kind it was, and then the guy behind the espresso bar pulled what I do at work when anytime somebody asks a coffee related question, I just have to upstage them and be like, "It's a blah blah blah, and it's a wash process, and blah 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 blah. It's coffee and it's delicious, and this is what makes it special." He did that in his Dutch way, and he said, "It's a Kenyan from XYZ Cooperative, and it's a pretty alright coffee." That feels like a very in my observation, a very Dutch thing to say.
Well, we have been here a few days.
It was objectively good. But it sounds like he might be picky when it comes to coffee, which I can appreciate.
He said he was.
Anyway, Scandinavian Embassy was very nice. It was a really great little shop, and we had to take our stuff to scramble because we like to run late. It's just what we do. We like to sleep in a little bit, and then we like to take the entire leeway they give you on tickets and say, "Well, you meant to give us that time." So right, if there's a grace period for 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to take it. We sure did. We were in line within that 15-minute grace period, but there was a line.
We had tickets to go to the Van Gogh Museum.
Van Gogh. And I think it's my favorite museum so far.
Yeah? What makes it your favorite?
Because it's just there were several other master painters in the museum, but it's just a huge collection of Van Gogh. We went
three stories worth.
Yeah, we went, and it's done, we did one of those experience Van Gogh things where it's videos that play around you and quotes and
an immersive experience.
Yeah, one of those 5D immersive experience, whatever that means.
Years ago in Albuquerque.
Yeah, so I had a little bit of background and just from going to school, but I don't know. I thought it was really, each floor kind of had a different time. It was not alive that long, so basically 10 years of his life or so. or even maybe just 5 years of his working life on each floor. And on each floor, it would have kind of an intro story to kind of what that floor kind of covered. But then it would also have like who his contemporaries were during that time, how they influenced him, and chose pieces that were such great examples of what he was looking at and how it ended up influencing what he did. And that went from, there were Monets in there, there was Pisan, or Pissarro, sorry. There was Gauguin, who was, they lived together for Bernard. Yeah. Anyway, there was just a ton of other also
even
incredible.
a sculpture from
Rodin.
Rodin, yeah.
A little bit of everything. Yeah. I mean, it was really kind of awesome.
I also appreciated how it was staged because you could see his style and subject matter change and evolve.
And it was like, it wasn't like all the hits. The hits were there, but it was like a lot of, not even lesser known, but just kind of pieces that aren't always out in the open, or that might, I guess you could call them less celebrated pieces, but they showed his development, and it wasn't like they were trying to hide. In fact, they used the pieces. There's like the Potato Eaters, a great example, where they talked about the story where he like sent it to a print to his artist friend, and his friend was like,
"You can't be serious.
You're not serious.
This isn't a painting.
Yeah, this isn't a painting." And you're like, "What?" But like some people hear that and they quit and try something else in their life, and other people are like, no, this is what I'm going to do, and I got to find a way to get better. And so he went off and went to school. So there was no pulling punches. It was telling the story as it existed, including what happened to him towards the end of his life, like just. But I think most poignantly at the end was like the whole piece about him and his brother and how close they were, and like shared these letters and notes, and they had, the museum has all of thousands of letters, between them. It's just really beautiful. That quote at the end about like, I don't have any friends, but when I'm alone, I think of you. You're the person I think of.
Even like your imaginary friend, like the voice that lives in your head when you're alone that keeps you company. I was really struck also by not only Van Gogh's story, but I was thinking a lot about, like, you can't help but like learn about somebody and then like see your own life through that lens. And so in more so Ben's, but like our collective creative endeavors, there's certainly like the creative energy that we put into projects, and like a vulnerability there, and you work really hard, of course, but like the success of anything outside of like an artist giving 110% is having like the support network. Like, for instance, Van Gogh had a brother that was like eternally in his corner, even like when he was going through like a lot of financial and mental health crises. His brother really believed in him, and even after his brother passed, his sister-in-law, his brother's wife, Van Gogh's brother's wife, inherited the entire art collection, all of their correspondence, and she is basically ultimately responsible for like preserving the collection and making sure that like Van Gogh's name was known. And I think which like I didn't know anything about her story. Nope. Like I thought even digging her husband up to have him moved and buried with his brother. Next to his brother, yeah. But I think like especially like as Americans, it's like you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and like your success is only like equal to the amount of work you can put in. Like, yeah, hard work is totally important, and like I think when you're passionate about something, it's going to take like every ounce of everything you have. But also the thing that doesn't get talked a lot about, which is why I really like, I appreciate musical artists, like, and you're one of them, not to like put you on the spot, but people who understand that their fans play such a crucial role in their success, that it's not just about you giving your all, but like having people who like really believe in you. Sorry. Yeah. But like we have like on like a very like personal individual basis, we've got like family members that really believe in us, but also just like friends or other people who've like just totally bought it. Sorry, I'm getting teary too, but I was just like really struck by that in the museum today. Like yes, he was absolutely a genius, But genius doesn't see the light of day without people supporting other people.
Especially in that particular story.
Yeah.
I mean, just having nothing. And one of the most important things to him was the celebration of having nothing, the appearance of having nothing. Like, he loved peasants and quiet life and peasant life and the fields, and like that was was like, he saw real beauty in that, and whether he had to, so like was confined and somewhere had to look at it through a window, but early on in his life he chose that and chose to celebrate that and paint those people and tell those, not the individual stories, but the stories of those people through his paintings. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break now and pull our shit together. Whoops, sorry. Anyway, it's supposed to be NSFW episode.
Oh.
Anyway, it was wonderful. I really loved it.
It was really beautiful.
And two or three of those really like historic pieces of art were in that display. So anyway, very touching, very moving. Like I said, it was just really well done. Where we go after that?
We went to the Canal booking folks because with this Amsterdam pass, we had gotten a daytime Canal cruise, and we totally forgot when it started, and we missed our initial departure time. But then there was one loading up on the dock
in 5 seconds. We like checked the same guy behind the desk, and he was like, "You're dumb," and then he said, "Go get down there.
Go get on that boat."
So we did a totally different cruise than the night, which was kind of cool. We like went out into the actual. They call it a lake. I don't think it's a lake. but
we went into like the seaside area.
And which is
harbor.
The harbor. There we go. Yeah. And different. I don't know. It was a different company, so I guess that's to be expected. But the nighttime cruise, we had kind of a newer guy who was fresh, and like ran in. Well, technically, the other boat violated the rules of the canals, and so this guy kind of rammed into this boat. There was a bunch of people rowing. There was like tourists in a rowboat, like a giant, like Roman ship, 20 people rowing kind of boat. I was like, who books that as their nighttime tour adventures?
The same people who do like triathlons.
Yeah.
People who are
what are you guys doing? Go sit down.
Yeah. Probably like a
have a burger.
Yeah. Go eat some fries and mayonnaise like the rest of us. Oh, we've had so much mayonnaise on this trip.
We've been offered so much mayonnaise.
And even just sort of like, it's like contact mayonnaise. Like mayonnaise is on everything, so even if you don't order it, like there's just mayonnaise on everything.
It's like the way Americans do ranch. Anyways,
oh, and then so we went on that daytime tour.
Yeah, then I had forgot my coat last night, so we went and grabbed that.
A different office.
Went and got some lunchtime
some pizza.
Then where did we go? Hortanicus Horticulturist.
Yes, we walked to the botanical gardens, and it's like kind of like Albuquerque kind of shares a close-ish campus with the zoo.
And it's on the canal.
It's very cool.
So you can like go walking through, and then the little flower part is right next to the canal. So there's a beautiful couple little bridges, and there was like a heron or a crane or something sitting right next to it. It was really beautiful. We saw some carnivorous plants. We also saw.
We went to the whole reason we made that trip is because they have a greenhouse that has a coffee plant in it. And coffee plants actually make really great house plants. Like I have one at home that's just barely scraping by because I'm a negligent plant parent. But why this plant is kind of important to Dutch culture and history is when the Dutch were doing a lot of international trade and world exploration, they were exporting just coffee beans out of Arabia, and they were like, gosh, these coffee beans are really expensive. What if we move part of the production process to something that we control? And this is something I could like talk hours about. So
in the year 1696.
I'll try to condense it, but basically they were able to procure or steal or buy live coffee plants and had success planting them in greenhouses at
that very greenhouse
at the Hortus, and then subsequently were able to propagate them in some of their more tropical colonies.
And they gave some to King Louis the 14th?
Of France.
And then they somehow...
That one's a whole other story, but I would love telling it if you want to know about it. Coffee ended up in Brazil because of that gift.
Yeah.
And it was because of a trick that somebody played right before they boarded a ship for the Americas. But also, the Dutch planted coffee in some of their colonies in Indonesia.
Wasn't they took it there first to Jakarta or something, right?
The port of Java. So yeah, just about. But if you ever hear the term...
Javakarta.
That's not a real thing, baby. If you ever hear the term Java in association with coffee, it traditionally has been coffee that has come from the Java area. It doesn't really refer to a drink. And same thing with mocha. It's a port in Yemen, which is by Ethiopia. So the world's oldest recorded blend of coffees is a mocha Java. So coffee beans from Ethiopia,
That's
coffee beans from Java.
I drink a mocha Java.
No, you don't.
Oh. Anyway, they had coffee plants there, which I like to believe are the original seedlings that were brought in the late 1600s.
You think they're the great
it's like sourdough bread.
Yeah.
That's what I like to believe. They're just really old. That's why they're so tall. And that was the first time I'd ever seen coffee cherries.
Yeah, that was the other really cool thing is I've never seen a mature coffee plant that wasn't like a house plant. So it was
We're gonna have to
taller than me,
that.
and it was producing cherries. So
Better go to Brazil.
They were all still green.
Yeah, very cool. Then we took a walk around there. We saw the little palm house, greenhouse, because we were really going to see the coffee plants, which were also in a butterfly enclosure, which was pretty cool.
It was very sweet. Yeah.
It's very humid. So then we where'd we go?
We went to
Foam. We went to the Foam, which is like a reminded me of a little Moco. It's like a contemporary, but it was all about photography. And then basically had 2.5 special, or I guess it was 3, photography exhibits. One, this Turkish photographer from, I want to say like the mid to late 40s through the 80s. Was they called him the Eye of Istanbul or Eye of Turkey.
Yeah.
And he just covered every major political event, a climate event. There was even a small bent on him discovering where they think Noah's Ark was.
That was really wild.
Blew my mind. Because there was the first beginning was pictures of this mountain. And you're like, what? And all of a sudden there's a picture where there's this crazy large area carved out of this, looks nothing like the rest of the mountains, and it's gigantic. And it looks like the shape of a boat. And I love stuff like that. Even if they made it on their own, I don't care. It's amazing. But anyway, really cool, part journalism, part historian, and in the more recent earthquakes and stuff that have happened in that area, where a lot of ancient human history is stored. This man is praised for having having documented a lot of that, so that there's photographic history of it, of a lot of human history that was lost in those earthquakes. So also very important. Then there was a more artistic, modern photography and film exhibit from a woman who now lives in Brooklyn. Now I can't remember her last name, but she's from the UK, went to Yale for photography. Really kind of cool, new agey. Let's look at the things we have and remember where we came from and how we can do better kind of thing. Very modern stuff. And then the top was about, I'm never going to remember.
That one was kind of it had, kind of notes about the climate crisis, but part of it outside of the imagery itself was her technique for developing the images. She would purposely kind of in the red room film development process contort the images so they
it was film paper. It was really neat. So it was folded over and kind of bent as she kind of washed them, and so they came out kind of looking almost like tissue paper photos. It was really cool.
They're really beautiful.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. But yeah, we just kind of, it was another thing we had through the past, and it looked really neat, and it was very, very, very cool. Then we went to the Rembrandt Splain, the Rembrandt Plaza.
Yeah.
Where there's a statue of him. We wanted to go to his house, but it just was like we couldn't fit everything in. Yeah. And we saw a bunch of his work in the Rijksmuseum. So we felt like we covered a little bit of the stuff. But you know, when I'm coming back. I hope you're coming back.
I hope so.
Because there's more to see. It's a big city and a capital city. So you know, cool. What we do after that? Get dinner?
Oh, we went into a couple cheese shops and ate some
We were like, we need to find cheese and we need to find gifts for people.
Yeah, we were souvenir shopping, cheese shopping. We met a guy from Texas that was just obsessed with Ben. And I couldn't tell if Ben was being humble or like trying to give me like the eye signal, like help me get out of this conversation.
I just think it's like anything you do. You always think there's so much more you can do or accomplish in whatever it is that you do. And so when someone is like saying how, I don't know, you know, I'm like, I came to Europe and, you know, I'm playing the same kind of shows that I play at home. And so it doesn't feel like anything. I know that it's special and I know that being in Europe is special. I'm very fortunate. I'm not trying to be ungrateful. I'm just saying it's kind of what I do all the time, just in another country. And so to have someone kind of like blow up about it's very humbling. And so I don't have much to say because sometimes saying like, no, you know, it's not a big a deal sounds very dumb or very like ungrateful or something. So I don't really know what to say because I'm you all that know me know I'm not the guy to be like, you're right, it is a big deal.
But we told him like, you know, why we were here and like kind of where we were in the middle of our trip, and as we were leaving, the guy like shakes Ben's hand and asks him his name, and like I thought you were gonna give him a fake name. You just look so like lost, and that's when I didn't know. I was like, were you trying to get out of a
I didn't know. Sometimes, you know, Benny still doesn't always come off the tip of my tongue because I didn't know if he was asking my name as a human being, and then
his government name.
Yeah. And then in the context of us talking about music, I got confused over whether I was going to say Benny or Ben. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
Not like I wasn't trying to hide anything. I just didn't know if he was asking my name. Like I wanted, like, because most of the time I introduce myself as Ben, unless we're talking about my music. Then I was like Benny Ben Bennerton is almost what I wanted to say. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, we got some cheese samples.
We had one that was really good. It was like a cow's milk cheese with rosemary and thyme.
Rosemary.
And we tried some balsamic mustard on it.
Then we wanted to go see the Westerkerk, which is currently under construction. It has a beautiful spire. I wish I could see it, but that's okay. There's also, it's right next to the Anne Frank house, which is another thing we wish we could have done, but those tickets sell out crazy. I was on top of that.
Well, they're closed for the next 3 days. They close for Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur. I'm getting the two holidays mixed up, and Naomi's going to kill me for not knowing my Jewish holidays. Sorry, Naomi. But then they also have like 3 days where they're just kind of like taking some rest and cleaning the facility and stuff. And we happened to be here during the days that they're taking
Nailed it. But we still saw the house.
It's Rosh Hashanah.
And we looked up,
I'm pretty sure.
Kind of like a breakdown of what the rooms were and stuff so we could figure out, you know, what we were looking at, which is cool. Mm-hmm. Another place we'll go back to. But it was also neat to see her statue and just kind of stand in a place where she was and imagine kind of the things she would have seen or just the world she would have been in. Mm-hmm. Then we went, I was like, do you want to have dinner on a canal? And Amanda was like, I just want to have dinner. No, I'm just kidding. We found a cute little place right on a little side canal that still had some cool boat traffic, so I got to see people going by. And
there's like no rope or partition or anything. If you eat or drink along the canal, like if the person that's waiting on you, if you move your chair the wrong way, they will like fall into the canal.
Yeah, that's the best part of Europe. You gotta just be an adult and manage yourself.
Anyway, we had a really nice dinner. We walked home. Now we have to pack up our little hotel room and
we're off to Cologne for 1 day. It was like it's a major city. It's not too far, a few hours. And the cathedral is one of the most well-known buildings in Europe, and it's on my poster. And so I was like, we're going to go to southern Germany. We're going to northern Germany. Let's hit western Germany. And then when we come back, we'll have to go to eastern Germany. Cover all the...
all the Germany.
I would love to go to Berlin. So,
Yeah.
Maybe some other day. We are going to Munich. So yeah, Cologne seemed really cool. We got, like I said in the last video, there's a lot of boating. So we're doing like an evening skyline tour, and that's a good way to learn about the city. So, cathedral, city, or depending on our German friends to give us some other good stuff to see. So, or if any of you have been to Cologne, put it in the comments, or just write me a message. You know how to find me. Yeah, love you guys. See you later. Bye.